Welcome in to a special edition of the Barnes on Bama podcast. I'm your host, Owen Barnes, and this is going to be a little bit of a unique episode. Over the summer, I've teased this episode a little bit. Over the summer, went into an article that Tony Sakalas had written, and that article was talking about how Alabama hockey was partnering with Alabama football. And if you had noticed it, they were wearing a lot of the jerseys during the recruiting visits for a lot of the football players. And he kind of dived into that. And how did that get started? What all was that about? I know there was the cold summer going on, but what all was that entailed? And I did that article about it and did that video about it. And I was reached out to by Joe Hughes, this junior goalie for the team. And he was interested in coming on the podcast and talking about it. They've actually got something else coming up that we talked about in this interview. So if you are interested, please subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we have stuff like this coming out all the time. And this is going to be a great note that if you have anything that you're interested in as it pertains to, important notes around Alabama athletics, right? Football, basketball, baseball. This one's about hockey, right? If you have something super important that you think needs to be discussed and that the Alabama faithful need to know about, reach out to me. That's the reason I tag my YouTube, my Instagram, everything down in the comments. He reached out to me on Instagram and we got this all set up. So I hope everybody enjoys the interview. If you do have any questions at all, throw them down in the comments. I'm sure I can get an answer from him or myself. And thank you so much, everybody, for watching. But let's get to the interview. And I'm joined today with the junior goalie for Alabama men's hockey, Joe Hughes. I know if for anybody that's been watching the podcast over the summer, I did a video kind of about the combination of Alabama men's hockey and the Alabama football team based off of an article that Tony Sakalas had written. But I actually, got a message from Joe and, interested in potentially talking on the pod. So it was something I was definitely interested in. So wanted to welcome you to the show. Welcome, Joe.
Thanks, Owen. Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for, joining the show. As I mentioned, want to first kind of start with, learning a little bit about you. As I mentioned, I know you're a junior, goalie for the men's hockey team, but, where are you from? What does that kind of look like?
So I'm from New Jersey, born and raised. So that's probably where I get my accent for anybody who's in the South who thinks I'm, Italian or whatever. But yeah, no, I grew up in New Jersey, Bergen County, New Jersey, so northern New Jersey. And my, little background, my dad owns a deli, so I pretty much worked there my whole life. I didn't really have a choice, but, I love helping out the family business. So that's usually what I'm doing in the summers, helping out the family business. But yeah, no, I mean, I started playing hockey up north, just like any other kid who lives up north. That's where it really took over my life when I was probably in high school. I ended up getting an opportunity to play junior hockey, and then played about 2 years of that, or actually 3 years. And then I was looking to go to college for hockey. Had a couple of North school offers, up and it was in those little smaller schools. I was interested in that. It was good hockey, but I had Alabama knock on my door, and as one could tell, it was a very easy decision once that happened. I mean, the school is unbelievable. Nothing needs to be said at that point. But yeah, so then here I am. I got the opportunity to the D1 team for the last 3 years. This will be the third year, so very excited about everything. This team, the organization is great, and not a bad thing to say about the organization, school, anything like that. So just excited to be here. I represent the Alabama A. It's what I love to do.
Absolutely. And I think that, I speak for some Alabama people. Obviously, I may have known a little bit more about the fact that Alabama did have a hockey team just because I'm from not far from where you guys play in Pelham. But, I know a question I'm sure you get a lot is Alabama has a hockey team. I want to kind of let you talk a little bit about, I know you guys are a D1 hockey team, but, you guys, what are you guys as a team? What is kind of the makeup kind of look like?
So yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that because when I go up north, people are like, oh, I heard you play for Alabama hockey. It's really cool, and they ask questions about it. Down south, they ask like, oh, Alabama, what's the sports bag for? And I'm like, oh no, I play hockey for the university. And like, oh wow, they got hockey down there. So That's the one thing. We've been really trying to grow the game. Obviously, with the collaboration with football that we'll obviously get into, we've been really trying to grow the game in the South, and hopefully switch the not just the North knowing about us and more people in the South to know. But yeah, no, the team this year is looking pretty good. We started off the season hot with a win against Auburn. Thank God. We always want to win that game. But yeah, I mean, we've had some like tough games where we've lost some players. A couple star players. So it's been really it's been a grind for the last at least 3 games, or actually 4 games or 5 games. Hoping those players get healthy. But no, but other than that, new guys, rookies have been stepping up. The incoming freshmen, they've been great. They've been really stepping up when older guys, leaders on our team that have been getting injured. So that's a good thing. We got a new coach this year, Mike Fairbanks. He's an absolute great guy, great human being. He's always opening up his home to the players on Sundays. And, his wife cooks for us. She's a saint. Um, but yeah, no, he's a great guy, and he really cares about us actually, and it's he's always looking out for us, and he's kind of like a father figure to this team for us. But yeah, no, that's pretty much the team as of now.
Sure. Yeah, and when you're talking about growing the game in the South versus, what it would be up north, I know, if you when you think about who plays hockey, obviously your mind immediately is going to go to the northern areas just because of the weather, right? Not to say that hockey is not played in the South because it is, but it's definitely not at the same level because, when you think about the way a lot of people play sports is oftentimes the person that gets you into the sport may be your parent, right? And in the South, if you didn't grow up playing it, it's not something that you see super often. So, what's kind of been the, I guess, difficulty or some of the ways y'all been able to grow the game thus far, in the South? Because obviously there is some difficulty starting out, honestly.
Yeah, so I mean, we have a bunch of little kids that come to our games, just like kids who are local, even kids who just hear about the game. The parents bring them out, just a nice event for like a Friday night or Saturday night. And we always win or lose after every game. We always go into the lobby full gear, right off the ice. Like coach will say something in the locker room, and then we go right to the lobby. We make sure we meet with those kids because um, we want to give back to the community as much as we can. And those kids, they look up to us. And when I was a kid growing up, I always wanted to meet the goalie or anything like that. And I see that in those kids' eyes when I meet them. And it might be an hour or two after the game, and I really try to make as much time as I can for those kids. 'Cause most of those kids have started hockey, at the young age of like 8 or 9, coming to our games. So it's an honor that they look up to us. And want to go play in the sport. But we've been doing things outside of the rink, like before our Auburn game a week prior, we were on ABC Good Morning, like the news ABC, and we were on the Good Morning show. And, we were able to talk about our team, the upcoming Auburn game. So that was pretty big for us to obviously grow the game. We really, as you mentioned, we play about 30-40 minutes away. So we've been working on getting a rink on campus. So that's been the huge thing. But it's just mainly trying to get to the community, give back to the community, whatever we can. Last year we did a clinic for like 3 days with kids starting out to play hockey. And me and 2 other teammates went out there. I think it was like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing. And we were teaching kids how to shoot the puck, just anything. I was teaching goalies how to fall down, get back up, not cry when, you get hit in the head with the puck. But yeah, so that's pretty much what we've been doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, want to kind of use this as a little bit of a segue. We talked about kind of the differences in the South and the North, and a lot of that is predicated on in the South, football is king. And I'm sure, maybe not the only reason you came to Alabama. Obviously, you came to play hockey, but I'm sure at least it partially factored into, when anybody thinks of the University of Alabama, the first thing somebody thinks of is the football team. So, I know when I originally did this, piece about the frozen tide and the frozen summer, cold summer that the recruiting team was doing with the partnership with you guys, that was a big mention. What was kind of your mindset going into this in partnering the hockey team with the football team?
Yeah, so I met a guy named Robbie Perano. He's the recruiter. He's a great guy. I just knew him, being around campus. I obviously I know a couple of the football guys pretty personal as well as like Ty Simpson and all those guys. Last year I knew like James Brockmeyer and a couple of the other guys that we just would hang out. I actually like hung out with Will Riker a little bit. He's a great guy too. So I had a good relationship just meeting him, just at events on the quad, simple stuff like that. And I eventually started talking to Robbie towards the end of last year. Like he was mentioning that, oh, we have like a cold summer theme, because I was just asking him about like what, how's the summer looking, how's the recruits looking, and he was telling me about that. And I guess like a light bulb went off. Like maybe we can work something out here, because we have, they call us like frozen tide. So I'm like, listen, if they have a cold summer, people think hockey, they think cold. So maybe we could do something here. So we can. He was able to introduce me to Walt Brock. He's the productive, creative, and production, and that guy's unbelievable at his job. And we were able to come up with a couple ideas. I pitched him an idea with the jerseys that they could use for the cold summer theme. He absolutely loved it. He saw the Frozen Tide jersey, and he jumped out of his chair. He's like, "That's it. That's what we need." So he loved it. After that, like all those recruits that came in, 5-star recruits, they were all wearing it, and they actually loved wearing the jerseys as like a style piece too. So that also gave me the idea of maybe doing a collaboration. So I was able to come up with a jersey collab like idea where it kind of looks like a football jersey, but it's still a hockey jersey. And we're gonna make that all alternative jerseys this year. So that'll be pretty cool. We're gonna release them, I think, in the upcoming week or two. Officially release it. But yeah, hopefully we'll have some of the football guys come out, support that game. And hopefully it blows up. I mean, the guys they fell in love with the jersey, so I mean, if they didn't fall in love with it, we probably wouldn't have even done it. So I mean, it was pretty much they were on board. I was like, yeah, screw it, why not? I'll do it. So we decided to do a collab.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely, and I'll throw some photos up for anybody that may not have seen the recruit photos he mentioned there. It definitely was something that if you were paying attention to Alabama football recruiting, it definitely popped up a lot. Over the summer, you definitely saw the Frozen Tide was definitely a very popular jersey, and you could tell that, the guys, as you mentioned, were using it as a fashion statement. Jerseys in general, football, hockey, baseball, jerseys just in general have become a little bit of a fashion statement. And like I said, hockey jerseys, especially with the football players, you saw them fully digging into the ski goggles and, everything with the cold summer theme. And I thought that the hockey jersey, screams cold summer without saying it, right? When you see it, like you said, when you see the hockey jersey, you think cold without having to say the word cold. Obviously, they're posting it in June, and you get the cold summer idea without ever actually having to say it, which is kind of the crux of the best marketing campaigns, right? You want the people to be able to make the distinction themselves without you having to tell them what to think, right? So that definitely makes complete sense why the collaboration worked so well, and why they decided that they wanted to kind of work forward on a full scale collaboration, in partnership with them. And I know you mentioned, y'all are trying to get some of the football players out potentially. And I'm going to be able to, kind of tease what these jerseys look like. And I will put links for the Alabama hockey team and everything down in the description as always. But what is kind of the thought process when it comes to the collaboration with these guys? Are y'all wanting to do like, just alternative jerseys? Or are we having a theme game? Obviously we may not have the dates fully ironed out, but what's kind of coming down the pipeline?
Yeah, so I mean, before I even go into that, I just want to say that these guys are obviously amazing athletes. Everybody's seen. I mean, obviously Ryan Williams is 17, and he's taking control of the whole SEC. But no, like I met a bunch of these guys, even like the GM Courtney Morgan. All these guys I've met either briefly or a couple times. I just want to say they are better people off the field than they are athletes. They're very very like great people in general. They give back as much as they can. They want to help us out as much as like we help them out. For us, obviously, we're just trying to grow the game, and what better way to do it with a collaboration with one of the big things in the South. So we're absolutely honored that we're even this far. We were even honored that they could wear like recruits could wear our jerseys. That's huge for us, and we wear those jerseys with pride, and especially when Alabama football is wearing it with these big name people, like it's an absolute honor for that. But yeah, so it's pretty much like as you said, like we're doing like a jersey collaboration with them, and we're trying to get a theme game with the football team. The date will come out very soon. We're just working things out. Obviously, the football team's a little busy this time of the year, so we'll see. If it works out, that'd be great. That date will come out. It'll probably be released on Alabama football socials and Alabama hockey socials. So I guess just stay tuned for that.
Absolutely, yeah, and I will link, like I said, I will link to all these things down in the show notes and in the description so that y'all can check out the Alabama Hockey Instagram page as well as Joe's Instagram page, and I'm sure everything will be posted about when all of that goes live. As well as I think they may even have a way for you to purchase your own jerseys if y'all do like the collaboration ones. So there's all of that's going to be going live, and like I said, I will be sure to link it all down in the description so that y'all can support in any way possible. Want to also mention, I know we've talked a little bit about the hockey team and a little bit about the football team, but I also want to just make sure that everyone's aware. The hockey team, the three next games before the end of the season that are going to be played there in Pelham, for anybody that's from the state of Alabama and is not familiar with the area or may be, it's right next to Oak Mountain Amphitheater and the Oak Mountain State Park exit. It's right there at the Pelham Civic Center where the Birmingham Slammers play. And it's a professional arena that they play in. This is not just some arena, random arena that the university is kind of commandeered. This is a full scale professional hockey arena that they're using. So this is top notch facilities in terms of for people to enjoy the game and be able to see and experience what hockey really is like. But the next three kind of opportunities to be able to see these guys live and in person is going to be on October 24th and 25th against Saginaw Valley State, November 8th and 9th against Northern Illinois, and on December 6th and 7th against Oregon. And that Oregon trip is actually a return visit from when they're going to go up to Eugene here in a couple of weeks. So, that may be a new rivalry coming up. So just want to make sure everybody is aware. Those are kind of some of the next times before the end of the year. They do have some times as well after the new year, but those are kind of some of the next times that you might be able to see the men's hockey team, in their full regard. One of those hopefully will be a theme game. If not, going out to support is the number one thing. When you think about what the collaboration with Alabama football is, right? I know you mentioned Ryan Williams, and for anybody that may, follow the football players pretty closely, they may have seen where he dropped the puck at the women's hockey team. What does it mean? Obviously, not just to have these guys wearing y'all's jerseys, but to have the players really supporting you at the level that they are, because, it's one thing to wear a jersey and have something for a social media post, and it's a completely different thing to take time out of your day to actually, go to this event, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not right next to their dorm room. It's not like, they had to actually make an effort to go to something like this. So what does it really mean to you guys to have that support from a club like the football team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it means more that they actually want to do it. Obviously, like the whole Jersey collab thing was just because they were on board with it. Obviously, if they weren't on board with it, it'd be kind of hard to force them. And honestly, it wouldn't be as special if you had, you guys got to do this. So they want to do this. So I think that's what's more like good, like honorable for us. Seeing Ryan Williams drop out the puck for the women's team, like they're a new team. Obviously, the women's team is like. I think last year was their first like official year, but now this year is like really official. So for him to come out and support and drop the puck for the women's team, I saw him briefly before he went out because we had a game prior to that game. So I seen him around the facility when I'm there for meetings. But I spoke to Ryan. I was like, hey, make sure you don't fall. We're gonna need you because that was before Georgia. It was literally the week of Georgia. I was like, listen, don't fall. We need you. But yeah, so no, it means the world to us, that these guys, actually care and they want to give back, and that we could do some sort of collaboration with them. If they want to rock the jerseys and it becomes a style, and kids at the school like it, I mean, maybe the jerseys are a good like winter jacket, when you go see a game and when it gets colder out. So who knows? Hopefully it works out great. We just wanted to do something new. It's obviously something like this has never been done before in the South. So at least to this extent. So hopefully it really grows, and we'll just see what happens. When the jerseys release, hopefully we get that theme game going out, And if it takes off, great. If not, we still appreciate everything they've done. I mean, for us, it's already taken off with recruits wearing it. Ryan Williams coming out to drop the puck. Even them. They've actually posted on their social media about us from the cold summer, and in the near future if they post about us again. So it's really an honor to be part of that. Part of everything they're doing, especially with the history, Nick Saban, everything goes into that. All that history for us to be even like just a little bit a part of that is an absolute honor.
Absolutely, yeah, it completely makes sense, and it makes sense why y'all would want, from the hockey side, why you would want to be able to try to collab with them if possible. But then also from their side, like we said, it completely makes sense why it makes sense that this fully fits in with their marketing agenda and what Walt Brock and the crew were trying to kind of set aside for the recruiting pitch, right? So I think it completely makes sense, and that's great that y'all have been able to get this collab working and that it's been so successful. I think I really just want to end the interview by opening up the floor to you. I know that we've talked a lot about the hockey team, we've talked a lot about the collaboration, but I want to give you the floor to kind of, is there anything that you personally have going on outside of hockey, maybe that you want to talk about and mention before we get out of here?
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess what's new in the last 2 weeks, I did a partnership with, or started a partnership with one of the spas in Tuscaloosa, Spa Bella Vie. Those guys are great. I never really got massages. My mom would always go for a massage on vacation. I'd be like, I'm not really interested. But they reached out to me and they wanted to do some sort of partnership. So they do massage type recovery type things. So I went in about a week and a half ago. We talked to the manager and maybe I got a massage and all that. And I was unbelievable. I don't know why I haven't, because you as a goalie, like I'm always getting banged up. It was unbelievable. My shoulders have never felt so loose. They do a great job. It was literally like going to like a all inclusive vacation hotel or something. It was awesome. You should definitely check those guys out. They're unbelievable people, and I can't say anything about them. That massage was awesome. I can't express that enough. But yeah, no, I mean, we're just trying to grow the game as much as we can. Just having kids come to the game, just simple autograph, talking to the kids like that. That's pretty much what I'm working on outside of on ice. I'm a CJ major here, so trying to keep my grades up as best as I can, learning the criminal justice, and yeah, so if I have some time, I'll hang out with friends. But for the most part, it's just kind of business with the football collaboration going on. We're in the middle of the season, so I'm always trying to, obviously be in the gym, on the ice as much as I can, getting ready for games. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I definitely agree with the whole massage standpoint. Like I said, I've been for the people that have listened to the podcast and stuff that y'all know I've been out of the country, this year and traveled a lot with the basketball team and did all sorts of stuff. And with all the travels, keeping your body in shape is something that, I'm a few years older than you and it's something that matters, right? And
I'm
it
starting to
matters
feel it now. I know. Starting to feel it.
it definitely matters. It's something that you will definitely not regret, taking care of yourself, whether it be a massage, an IV, no matter what it is, recovery is something you definitely want to keep in mind and kind of take care of. So definitely recommend that. I will pop Joe's code and stuff up on the thing. You may be able to save some money if y'all do mention him when you go to the spa. So like I said, gonna pop that up. Be sure to mention him at the spa if you do go by and check it out. I want to really thank you, Joe. Like I said, thank you so much for reaching out. I know that you had seen the original information that I had put out about the cold summer, but thank you for reaching out and kind of letting me know about some of the stuff that y'all have upcoming. For anybody, like I said, if y'all have any other questions, throw them down in the comments. If I don't know the answer, I'll be sure to get Joe to get us the answer so that we can kind of get you whatever you want to know about the Alabama men's hockey team. Throw those down in the comments. In terms of anything that we've talked about, it's all going to be in the description, right? So the link to the men's hockey team, Joe's links, the Alabama hockey links, those are all going to be down in the description. And then obviously we'll have plenty of photos and everything posted after this. If anybody has any questions, please reach out. Like I said, the hockey team really appreciates all the support that they get. This is a growing game. This is not something that people think of when they think of the University of Alabama, but they're trying to have that change and is in as measurable way as possible, right? So thank you so much for joining me today, Joe. I really appreciate it.
And thank
And thank you everybody for watching. Thank you so much everybody for watching, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.